How to pick the right friends. I'm going to show you exactly how to do that here in this episode. Now, let's get right into it. I love what the Bible says about this. A friend loves at all times, and a brother is born for adversity. Proverbs 17:17. Most people, we're talking about most people pick their friends because they have a common interest, they have a shared past, or they grew up in the same geographic location. And so really think to yourself about everyone that's in your life right now. Maybe you are in your mid 30s and you have a friend since you were maybe in middle school. Think to yourself, okay, we grew up in the same geographic location. Maybe you are in your 20s and you've known someone now for about 3 years. Think to yourself, why are we friends? Like really put this exercise, write down all of your friends' names and then just start thinking to yourself, why are we friends? And start listing out the reasons why. I guarantee you it's going to come down to we have a shared interest, we have a common past, or we grew up in the same geographic location. It's usually one of those three, if not a combination of. It's usually a combination of, especially if you have friends that you grew up with from, I'd say, elementary to where you are now in adulthood. But rather than telling you how to pick a friend, even though how I told you what you were going to do, or rather how I was going to help you do that, I want to rather pose 5 questions that you want to ask to know if you have the right friend in your life, because it's one of those things where the people that we have in our life in terms of friendships, we get to pick. Family, we don't get to pick, but friends, we get to pick. We get to pick. We don't get to pick who we were born from. We don't get to pick where we were born. We don't get to pick the status. We don't get to pick the class that we were born in. But what we do get to pick, which is some powerful choices, is where we live. That's a powerful choice. Where we work, that's a powerful choice. The skills that we decide to adopt, that's a powerful choice. And ultimately, the people that we have around us. So our surroundings, which is an extremely powerful choice. So the first question that you want to ask is this person willing to go to battle with me? If the answer is no, I honestly don't know what you're even doing keeping them around. You shouldn't, and here's a strong statement, you shouldn't have, in my opinion, more than 5 people that you can call a true friend. I know that's a strong opinion. I would refer to those as confidants, strong confidants. If I had to back this up with a biblical principle, I would back this up with Jesus, where it says that he had many followers. It says that he had 12 disciples, but he had really 3 that were close to him. That was Peter, James, and John. And Peter, James, and John, as seen in the Bible, these were men that would follow Jesus really closely. And if you really follow them closely in the Bible, John obviously being one of the Gospels, but even with Peter, is he went out and he did great things. John obviously wrote the book of Revelations, where he sat in the island of Patmos and he had that revelation of Christ and he had that revelation of heaven. And then you had John, who just, in my opinion, wrote some of the best scripture that we have in the Gospels. And obviously, Peter was known to walk on water, which no other disciple did, which is pretty cool. People clown him for falling in the water, but no one actually gives him props for at least trying and taking a couple of steps. And so the reason this is important is because you have to have people that are willing to go to war with you. And so this is war on your mental health. This is for war on love. This is for war in your business. This is for war in maybe raising your kids, especially if you're a parent. Then you understand that raising kids, it takes a tribe. And so this isn't a physical war if you're going out there and you're going to harm someone. This is over maybe a situation that you're in. Hey, I need someone to maybe help me walk this thing out. Let me talk to you for a second. What are your thoughts on this? Hey, can you just pray for me? Like, I don't even know what to ask for you to pray for me for, but can you just pray for me on the situation right here? I'm talking about that kind of war. The second question that you want to ask is, does this person have my best interest at heart? This is a question and these come in no particular order, but if I had to put this one at the top, I would possibly put this one at the top, because if someone's heart, if we're getting to the heart of the matter here, if someone's heart or someone sees you from a certain lens that they have a certain negative emotion toward you, or maybe a thought that isn't necessarily in your best interest, then everything else is going to be in shambles. They can be giving you good advice, but it could come from wrong intentions, which is equally as dangerous as getting bad advice, because they're not looking out for you. So if you have someone that you think, again, you're writing this list out, I don't think that this person maybe has my best intentions about my marriage. Whenever I ask them about my marriage or I ask them for their input, they give me the sour attitude. Maybe you want to think, maybe so-and-so doesn't want me with this person. Or maybe so-and-so is a little envious of me having a strong relationship, right? Whatever that is. And obviously this is going to take some self-diagnosis, and you're going to have to confront the beast at one point or another, because if we keep carrying conversations or we keep carrying people in our lives that shouldn't be there, it's ultimately going to weigh you down and you're going to end up drowning in that misery. The third question that you want to ask yourself is, are they willing to tell me when I'm wrong? This is huge. The last thing that you want is a group of yes men around you. Having a group of yes men around you will get you in trouble, because somebody can give you advice on something, one of your friends, that is going to be harmful, but because they don't want to hurt your feelings, they say, yeah, just go ahead and do that. Whether it's quitting your job, even though they know, dude, you're not going to be able to land a better salary than where you're at right now, maybe where you're living, the economy's tightening up, whatever it is, they need to be a real friend and tell you, hey, I think you should keep the job that you're at based on where you're at, based on your level of maybe education. I don't think you're going to be able to land a better job. And I know that this isn't what you want to hear, but this is what you have to hear. I am looking out for you. And so you want to really analyze the advice that I'm getting from my friend. Is it hate? Because a lot of us think that just because we're getting a negative quote unquote piece of advice that, they're just hating on me, right? Which kind of almost feels like it contradicts the previous point that I had. But with this is you want to lean into someone that's able to tell you, no, I think you got this one wrong. Or, hey, dude, you know that argument that you had with your significant other? I think that was your fault. Here's why. Bam, bam, bam. And they listen to you. That's going to serve you far better than somebody just saying, no, yeah, I think you can do that. Or no, dude, yeah, the reason you're arguing is that's her fault. That's not your fault. Or that's his fault. That's not your fault. And so you want to have someone that can be those eyes for you, the eyes in the back of your head. You want to be someone or have someone that can almost, they can be your rear view mirrors, your side mirrors, and tell you got this one wrong. This is what I recommend that you do to fix it. Number 4 is, are their thoughts about me the same when I'm not around? So you want to watch, okay, I know that my friends, I'm not the only person that they talk to, right? If they are, cool. But if they're not, that's fine too. I want to know, do they think or feel the same about me when I'm not around? And if your friend is willing to talk smack about you when you're not around, they're not a real friend. If your friend, though, is telling you the same thing to your face, that's a real friend. So if, let's say, your friend has another group of friends, and this thought may be a little controversial for some, and they say, I like hanging out with Irv, but Irv's a little lazy. But then they tell you in your face, yeah, dude, I think you're a little lazy. I would classify that as a real friend. Now, should they say that, to other people about you if you're not around? That's debatable. But they're keeping the same energy. And so they're flat out letting you know, yeah, dude, you're lazy. And if anyone asks me, I'm going to tell them the truth. I think he's lazy. Or I don't think that this person, wants to stop drinking. I think that they drink too much. And so it's the same thing here. And I know that some people might say, well, a real friend wouldn't say that about you, when you're not around. Again, that's debatable, but I think that a real friend would keep the same energy, whether you're in the room or outside the room. They would keep it a buck, so to speak. Last question that you want to ask is, are they running mates? This one's going to be a hard pill for some people to swallow. Reason for that is because you maybe grew up with someone over the course of a decade, a couple of years, and now you're in a spot where you're looking to grow in your life. You're looking to adapt new philosophies. You're looking to maybe trim some weight. You're looking to maybe grow in your business, and you're looking to maybe climb the echelons of the income bracket, so to speak. But you're maybe hanging around with someone that, again, you grew up in the same area code. You grew up in the same zip code, rather. You grew up with the same past. You have similarities of, you guys laugh at the same memes, whatever it is. And now you start to notice that they don't want more for their life. So what do we do with these people? I'll tell you what we do with these people. We have a serious conversation with them. And one of the conversations that you want to have with them is let them know, hey, I've been looking into this material lately. These are some of the goals that I have written down. This is what I want to do. And you want to get their feedback on it, right? Remember what I mentioned earlier. They may point you back to reality and say, no, dude, you're not doing that, right? And then it will obviously be up to you to dictate, is this hate or is this, are they putting me back down to reality? But if, let's say, for a fact No, this is legitimately what I want to do and I'm going to do it no matter what. You have that conversation with them. And in my opinion, if it's a friend that's going to stick around, they are someone who wants to climb with you. Not necessarily on the same goal, but they want to continue to improve their life as well. If it's someone that they just want to keep doing the same thing week in, week out, they don't want to improve, they don't want to get better, they don't want to change their circumstances, they don't want to have a stronger family dynamic, whatever your goal is, guys, it doesn't have to be monetary. It can be a family goal. Hey, I want to have a stronger family dynamic. Find a running mate. Dude, I'm married too. I think that we should take all of our kids out on the weekends, and I think that we should all go to church together. I think that we should take all of our family out on the weekend, and I think that we should all fellowship, whatever that is, right? Hey, dude, I'm thinking about, starting this business. You know what? What type of business is it? I have some skills. You want to go in it half and half? Let's go. Let's run it. Or if it's, hey, I'm thinking about climbing up and applying as a manager at my job. What are your thoughts? Dude, I'm tired of working the same 9 to 5 at my job. Let's go. What type of trainings do we need so we can level up, skill up, and apply for some better jobs? Because I'm tired of this. That's what you want around. If you don't have that, you need to question the type of people that you're keeping around. So those are my 5 questions that I would ask if someone is a real friend that I would honestly think of keeping around or not, because it is going to slow you down and you are going to adopt their mentality. A lot of people talk about, you are the 5 people you hang around with. And they're like, oh, that's amazing. That's cool. That's motivating. But then they go back home. They don't do anything about it. And so they're constantly stuck in that cycle. And so these are 5 questions that you want to analyze in your own life, apply it, and see where it takes you. If you found value in this content, consider hitting the subscribe button down below. Don't forget that we don't run any ads on here. So if you found value in this content, only thing that we ask is that you leave it a 5-star review if you enjoyed it, and share it with someone that you know is going to find this content helpful. Until next time, everyone, I will see you in the next episode.